Howdy Howdy, this is Blue Otter Gaming. I am recording this audio because I apparently muted my microphone when I first recorded this. So I'm going to go back over and try to remember what all I was saying and going through because I have no record of it. So that first point where I'm pointing out is those are 6 different aquariums that do house moray eels, and I believe I have a 7th in that large Belfast tank that is off to the side. So I am rotating and figuring what my next move is going to be. And as I unpause, because I do want to be going ahead and getting ecology and science points. So here I check my messages, and I do have several different ones that I can get. There is a cold water one that is for getting a blonde skate and 6 animals, which gives me a base prestige of 250. An oddball tank that if I can get 3 oddballs, I can get an additional 300 prestige. I always like to accept these. And then active swimmers, getting 5 active swimmers in the same tank. So again, I always like to accept these, even if I don't necessarily think I'm going to be able to get them. Just the fact that I am running for them, and here Ilsa is getting upgrading a skill. I'm debating between feeding and cleaning. I ultimately go with cleaning, but I always get those objectives because that, 1, they help me with getting base prestige, and 2, it helps to get some different fish and advancing, even if they're side quests, which are some of the achievements that you can get in the Steam game as well. So here I'm looking at, and I am evaluating all the different fish that I have in these aquariums to see, do I have any that are already active swimmers? And in that particular aquarium, I already have 2 active swimmers, the Achilles surgeonfish and the orange band surgeonfish. So I go and I think about it, and I already have the unicorn surgeonfish in that Belfast tank that is an active swimmer. So I grab those 2 and I put them into the Belfast tank. That gives me an aquarium that I already have 3 out of 5. So I really just need 2 more. So I can go through and look to see, here I actually keep clicking on a couple of guests. I could go through and I could look at some of the different fish that I already have, and do I have any that I can put into that aquarium without having any real change to the fish I've already purchased, because I am limited on what fish I can have. I can only have 1 of each fish, and I do move that Regal tank over there, which now gives me a tank with 4 active swimmers. So now I just need 1 more active swimmer, and I do believe I end up having to research and find one to put in the tank. So we go through, and I'm still clicking through to see if there's anything else that I have. And there's a lot of clicking through and evaluating and judging if the fish are compatible, because I've had my heart set on one thing and then ended up that I put in 2 fish that should not be put together, and that ends up being disastrous because one of my fish ends up dying, or the stupid turbot ate it again. Here I have that 2-spot goldie that I did research, and I threw that into a little small coral that just had some little small fish in there. I don't think I left room if those if those soft corals grow any, but I do know that the fish don't grow anymore. But I'm double checking to make sure if anything can be here. And the striped boxfish, because he seems a little bit bigger or kind of out of place, and I look and I see if there's anything that is going to fight with him in this other tank, and there's really not. Everyone seems to agree with him, so at this point, I decided to move the striped boxfish over to the deep outcrop tank, and that tank is complete. And then that finishes the honeycomb moray eel. So we can go through and we're going to research additional eels. So that's the yellowmouth moray eel that I selected to continue to research. And I look, and I've actually got one that I'm missing, so I'm going to go in here and try to find it. And there's the honeycomb moray eel, so he's going to go in there. And since I don't have it hooked up to a pump, I'm going to make some adjustments and go ahead and add a pump so that it will link to established tanks together, so I really don't have to deal with a whole bunch of filters and heaters. I can really just focus on just connecting them and moving on. And then I need to make sure that I've got suitable food for them. And here's where I am starting to kind of run out of room because of that particular heater and tank with the 3 crates is a little close to those. I will later move them, but it might not be this episode. It might be the next episode, as I have recorded these in advance. So I'm going through and checking to see what I need to do next. And then I just unlocked my science research, so I'm going through and I am picking what I want to select to do. I know I want to do the shark hat because that's perfect with having a shark over on the other side. And I know I eventually want to get the large pump, but that's just not something that I did this particular one. And I ultimately do go with the popcorn machine, which ironically enough, I don't think I actually added any to this one. So I am going through and I'm adding another pair of tanks to the moray eels. This will help with just finishing out that moray eel section. I know I do have a few additional moray eels, or eels in general, that are available. A couple of them I could not pick because they are cold water, and I'm specifically doing tropical water. And so since I couldn't pick those, but at some point I do plan on having a full section. It'll probably be when I do a sandbox campaign, because I think it would be cool to do a sandbox campaign. There I accidentally clicked on the deep observer tank, and I meant to do the corner observer tank. These are the last 2 tanks that I have in this moray eel section. And I did need to put a platform and staircase, which I will eventually move, because I will eventually move that filter and stuff. And there is that moray eel, and that unlocked the next ecology project. So we are going through, and I am scrolling kind of fast because I am looking for very specific criteria of what I want. I believe at this point I might be looking for that last moray eel that I'm going to be collecting. And the tiger reef eel looks like it is going to be perfect. So the reason why one of the eels went into the center, into the Belfast aquarium, was because it did have an open 2x2 requirement, which in these smaller tanks I just couldn't do I just couldn't do a 2x2 and have the rocks and have the small decorations that I did have. It's really not a huge exhibit hall, but it is, especially with decoration, but it was at least all the same animal, roughly. I did add a door there so that those doors are cattywampus to each other. They are rotating, where you've got one on the left, one on the right, one on the left as you're coming down from the Belfast tank. And they do have stairs that go up and down, so you can access and have access points to all of those tanks. And that allows for being able to do this. So I'm looking again at those tanks. The epaulet shark grew in size. And I'm still looking at my different objectives. And I believe I may have unlocked another active swimmer, or maybe I'm looking. I'll look for that after the honeycomb one. And I do look at this one to see what all do I have in oddballs. Oddballs is just really, it's a weird level that, or a weird classification that I don't really think that there is an actual picture for. Here, my green moray eel has grown, as has my black sea cucumber, and my honeycomb moray have all grown. So we're looking at more of the moray eels. There was a little bit of a heat deficiency, so I added heat. Although the last two don't have heat because they're not connected, so I will make a note to connect those. But I don't really need to connect them until I actually have anything in there. Here I opened this up just a little bit so that yeah, it's nice if they have that walkway behind all of the filters and the heaters. At the same time, it would be nice for them to just have a way that they could cut through and be right in front of them without having to spend extra time going behind them. So here we're going back and looking at are there any of the eels that I have, and there is one that I can put in. And I briefly pause this so that I can go in and put an additional pump, and I'm going to connect that tank to the tank that is next to it, and then it will require some rocks. Actually, I think that's some caves. So that rocky overhang just fits perfectly for the eel's usage. And I go ahead and place a rock in the next tank because I know that eel will need it. when it is put in there. And so I go ahead and I do that. These extra decor items actually add to the prestige, and I liked the column, so I thought I would put the column there. I wanted to make sure I was careful not to add too much because I do need to keep a 2x2 slot in there. So here we're looking at different plants and things and different decor, and is there really anything that I can add? I think I do at least decide to add a conch shell. It's only one prestige point, but I go ahead and add that conch shell to that aquarium because that is the tank that has the hermit crab in there. So I thought that would be kind of fitting to place that in there, to place the shell in there. So here I'm starting to expand out, and I am looking at what do I need to do. I kind of expand this a little bit, but then I changed my mind and how I want to do this, and I'm actually pleased with what I end up doing. It goes through, it looks really nice once I add that final tank that's there. So here's where, looking at the cold water mix, I do need that bronze gate, so I am going to add that up. And here Jim is leveled up, where I'll go with fixing because that's what he's got. I go through and I decide that I really don't want that to be open on that end, and I can open this up just a little bit because it's still only open to workers. I don't have that last moray in, so it is blocked. Those last two aquariums are blocked off from visitors being able to see them. And I'm going to go in and look and scroll in to see what I can do. And I'm trying to decide, okay, well that's where I want to add another tank. And I'm going to go look and see what kind of tanks that I have. And I really like... I closed the terrariums because I mean the terrariums. And I really, in here, I'm deciding that tank, the square tank would be good for like the clownfish that I had done. But one of the things that I look at is ultimately that tunnel tank and decide that that's kind of the tank that I really want to do and use. There is a large shallow tank. The small tunnel tank. Which I could do a small tunnel tank over here and then have a small area that you go around and it leads back. So I think yeah, I think I've got the room that I can expand. So we're going to expand this. Let's do a small tunnel tank. And then we're going to add a door here, and we're going to we're going to move those two walls over here when the time comes. I'm not going to worry about it right this moment, but I do have or I could do 3 down. No, it's as much as I would like to have a door there, I'm gonna have to settle for the fact that I've got a door there.
So what I'm gonna need is the blonde skate's gonna go in here. And the downside of this is that this is gonna have to be where we're gonna start getting some cold water, which means I'm gonna need which means I'm going to need ooh, that would be a good one. No, because never mind, he needs 5. Because I also need active swimmer. Where's... No, it has to go into the bigger one. Small hammerhead shark. Yeah, I got plenty of room. I could add another shark. Um, 6 days, he'll be 28. So, yeah, I do have the room, because it's not like it's mutually exclusive, but he's gonna eat everything that's gonna be small, so he can't really be with anybody else. Let's do the small hammerhead. Hammerhead's gonna go into that big tank. There's the popcorn. Now let's see what we can do with this. I think this is where I would rather have a large tunnel tank. Get the large tunnel tank right here, and then that you have to go through to get into, and have that be where the blonde skate is. So I'm gonna need to get that one. Zoe has leveled up. Let's do gift shop. Awesome. And then I need one more moray eel. There is the... Oh, okay, yeah. There we go. Alright, what is your problem? Alright, so we're going to do... a bit of tank flipping. There we are. And then he eats crab, which I believe we just have crab down here. I don't really have... yeah, no, it's gonna be involved. That's gonna be an involved mess of moving stuff. It could be done, but it's gonna get messy. So we're just gonna leave it like that. Have the tunnel tank. I might have to move some stuff around. Yeah. Okay, let's just move some stuff around, and then we will wait. Actually, we can be letting it run. So we're going to let that go there, connect, and then we're going to take this and we're going to actually move this up here. And then this one, we're going to add its second tank to there. So this is all connected. So all of these moray eels are connected. We do need to so that's there. Yeah, we're going to really quickly, one last thing, we're going to take a pump and we're going to connect this one to that. So we've got all the power going to all the places. And then let's just move these back over here. All right. So with that, we actually need to take this over here. Last move. All right. There we go. And there we go. So we will add some popcorn to our mix and be able to start, we'll be able to unlock this large tunnel tank and start with this blonde skate and adding some 6 animals to it. But we will do that in the next episode. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you next time.